Welcome back to week 9 of What's the Call. Back again with E on this Halloween week. You know, another good week of football. Couple close games, a lot of big SEC games, which I feel like going through the plays and stuff of penalties, I'm like, dang, a majority of these have been SEC games, and I'm like, feel like I've been leaving, the other conferences out, but then again, I'm
It
like,
don't matter.
SC like the SEC games have been the closest games, and uh, honestly, quite frankly, they've some SEC games have had the worst officiating out of all the
Yeah.
conferences. So. But anyways, we're going to go with the typical schedule here. Start with the week 9 recap, head into a couple questionable calls for the main segment of what's the call, and then we'll do a look ahead into week 10. So let's get started here. Friday games, nothing really special besides Cal lost to VT. That pretty much kind of, I think, eliminates them from possible
They've been
ACC
eliminated.
championship. Yeah. Um, so they're out. Then we head into Saturday. Indiana handled business. I know UCLA was on that high horse for a little bit, winning 3 games in a row, but Indiana,
They're just gonna
uh,
catch up to them at some point. They're yeah.
yeah, yeah. Going in, we'll hit the big games last real quick. Oregon handled business against Wisconsin. Saw that happen in
Hmm.
Georgia Tech handled Syracuse with ease. Miami didn't
Bad
look like.
Stanford team.
Yeah, Stanford is not good. BYU, uh, um,
Took care of business.
actually
That's a
sound,
good
yeah,
win.
yeah, it is a good win. I don't know if you saw last week. I initially was like, oh, I think I'm gonna have Iowa State as an upset pick, but apparently Iowa State was favored in the spread, so I didn't choose them as a upset pick, which
Mm,
I guess ended up being a good choice. But I chose Mississippi State, and we know what happened that game. We'll talk
yeah.
about that later. Texas Tech handled business. Oklahoma State is non-existent. They don't have a football team. Tennessee, I guess, handled Kentucky fairly well, except I am a little concerned Tennessee's defense still gave up 34 points to the University of Kentucky.
Yep.
So, backstretch, that might be a little struggle for the Vols. Louisville took care of business against Boston College. Cincinnati, um, beat Baylor pretty well. They worried me because I think at one point it ended up being like a 3-point game or something. Like Baylor was coming back, but then Cincinnati somehow scored 3 possessions, like bang bang bang, and then they went up. Cincy's actually looking strong, and they might be a sleeper team that sneaks up out of the Big 12 to maybe make a little playoff run. And I know their quarterback Sorsby is, I guess, potentially a Heisman candidate. Actually, he's been
Yeah.
playing
I
fairly
saw
well.
that.
Yeah. Washington handled Illinois. Illinois, I just knew I think at this point they've
Fraud.
just been overrated.
Yep.
Houston took care of Arizona State at Arizona State too, which is a good win for Houston. Maybe they're not as fraudulent as I thought, but I still don't think they are even comparable to like Texas Tech or Utah or shoot. I feel like even if Cincinnati played them, they'd probably beat them. Uh, Michigan beat Michigan State. Expected that. Nebraska snuck one out against Northwestern. I'm not even going to talk about that Rutgers Purdue game. Geez, that was miserable. Was watching that in person. Uh, Other than that, not too many other kind of like side games. Oh, I guess Iowa absolutely obliterated Minnesota. Iowa might be scary. They're 4-1 in the Big Ten, and with the Big Ten, what it's looking like is a bunch of teams are being up on each other. If if somehow Ohio State and IU drop a game or something like that, Iowa could have a chance at a Big Ten championship. But I feel like right now Ohio
That's
State
very
and
unlikely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ohio State and IU are kind of in cruise control right now.
Hmm.
All right, let's get into the big games.
Start with
Texas
South Carolina.
A&M. Oh, you want to start with South Carolina game? All
Start
right,
with South Carolina.
We'll start with the South Carolina game. We thought it was going to happen. I tuned in and I was like, "Oh, shit. Here we go again." Give me your thoughts.
I watched this game from the very start to the very end, and it was very apparent to me that South Carolina just does not have enough good football players there in position. The offensive line is terrible. I mean, it comes down to just that. They played a great game. They played great defense. They had things that could stump Alabama. Alabama's not good with the speed rush. They had one of the best speed rushers in the country, Dylan Stewart. He made it hard on Alabama. But South Carolina's offensive line was so bad they could never sustain the drives. Their wide receiver room is not good. Besides their one wide receiver, Nick Carver, who played good. Tell me another wide receiver you saw in that game that played good. I couldn't tell you one that was like, wow, he was open consistently because they just don't have that depth
What
of a
about
player.
what's his name? Jaden Sellers, Lenore's
He
younger
did all
brother.
right. He did play. He did play all right, but I we had heard all fall that um South Carolina's wide receiver room had taken leaps and bounds, and it just hasn't, and that's been the
No, it
issue.
hasn't. Yeah,
Lenore still has this fumble issue, cost them the game this time. Um, they played a great game, but turnover. The turnover at the end of the game is
yeah,
what cost you at the end, and I don't think there's really even more to say off of that. Alabama could not get anything started, and they still won the game. So I guess it's a testament to them. As much as it is hard for South Carolina, it's just we needed to win that one because now you're staring down the barrel of at A&M, at Ole Miss, and Clemson plus um, Coastal Carolina. You got to win 3 out of 4 of those to make a bowl game.
yeah.
So
I think they can beat Clemson, and I think they can beat Coastal Carolina. Now,
they got to win
it's
at A&M
yeah,
or at Ole Miss.
yeah, yep.
I just don't know. I don't.
That's tough.
It's hard for
Um,
Beamer. I don't think Beamer's going to get fired, but the
I
only
don't.
route I
Yeah,
see him leaving at the end of the year is if he starts getting such backlash that he just decides to depart ship and goes and takes a Virginia Tech job. So I think
yeah.
that's somewhat enticing to him.
I don't even think he deserves to get fired. Like, I don't even think
No, no, because there's not
this
other coaches
travesty
aren't
of
going
a
to be doing much
season
better there.
is yeah. Uh, I also don't think he should go to VT because like they're obviously his dad coached there, and I think there is a thing of, being in his dad's shadow and stuff the whole
Mhm.
time there. So, I mean, at South Carolina, he's been able to kind of run his own ship, and they had a good end of the year last year. I mean, I felt like overall last year was a pretty solid year for, South Carolina. Um, just, with the coming up with the big wins at the end of the season. Now, however, I don't know if during last season and this season they just lost every single offensive lineman they had. But again, wasting Lenoris's time there is kind of unfortunate because he Lenoris is actually a really good quarterback if you watch him, but
Yep.
he's scrambling and has to make insane plays pretty much every single time. And any quarterback, no matter how great you are, if you have to make crazy plays every time, like it's you you can't. It's not sustainable.
Not sustainable at all. You're exactly right.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, speaking of Texas A&M, LSU. Actually, actually a fairly close first half, and I thought it was going to be a good
And
game.
then all hell broke loose. Let me see if this works. Let me change my background. This is what Brian Kelly's on today. I do Brian Kelly, I'm so glad you're out of there. This was atrocious. This was genuinely atrocious. And it add all the stuff that's come out of you playing 400 plus rounds of golf. You're not checking in on deceased players and players that are crippled. It the ABC broadcast showing what happened in the fourth quarter of the LSU game kind of sums up his whole time there. He was just such a bad fit.
Yeah,
Um, and now he's unemployed. Um, so his ass gonna be hopping on LinkedIn to find another job because if I'm a head coach of another place, I'm not going to pick him up with all the stuff that he just got himself into. Um, so, well,
yeah. I mean,
talking
what do you
about
get?
strictly the game, strictly going in the game though. A&M's a good team, and LSU's
They
not.
are.
It is what it is. LSU's kind of a dead team this year now. I don't think Brian Kelly really had his reins over it. It was a collapse in the second half. Um, Marcel Reed's a good quarterback, and A&M just took it to him. They knew they were a better team, and they just took it to him in the second half. They had enough magic stick around the first half LSU, but after that, it just absolute blowout, about as bad as it can get.
Yeah.
And he LSU realized that, and he was out of there. So
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah, I not surprised by the firing at all. I don't know. What was his buyout? Were they saying like it was like 100 million or something like that?
apparently it's getting negotiated down. No, 50 million, but
Oh,
it may
50
be
million.
getting
Okay.
negotiated down to like 20 something
Okay. Okay.
because he would take vacations on recruiting weekends and go play golf and wasn't really doing his job. So they're trying to pull his money down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Which shoot, even if you get 20 million, I mean, 20 million to be unemployed, that's pretty good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I never thought he was a good fit there, and obviously LSU has had their struggles the past couple of years. We'll see where he ends up. I don't see him really going anywhere.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything like, especially if he goes anywhere, it's not going to be the SEC. He might end up. Imagine Florida State picks him up.
Uh, oh, I don't know, dude. Ah,
I don't. I
just a
don't
bad.
think. I don't think he might be done. He might be done as a
I
head
think it's going to take a
coach.
few years, a year or two.
Yeah.
Go be an
Yeah.
analyst somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas A&M looks good. 8-0, 5-0, the SEC. I don't know why. Like it's just for me, it's weird seeing Texas A&M like ranked
Yeah,
so high because
it's weird.
because I don't know why, but part of my gut still says like, is Texas A&M like the real deal? I mean, obviously they've
Yeah.
shown it and stuff, but
No,
for
that's
some
a real
reason,
because it's real because who we can look at their schedule. Their best game they played is Notre Dame, and they won that in overtime by 1 point because they missed an extra point. So
yeah.
you can that's a really realistic argument because their only SEC games they played are LSU and who else? Who else have
Let
they
me
played in the
look.
SEC?
I'm trying to here. Let me look. Okay, Notre Dame, Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas.
They played the bottom half of
Yeah,
the
they
SEC.
plowed the bottom
You
half of
and
the
they
SEC.
somehow got they didn't have to play Georgia, they didn't have to play Alabama, they didn't have to
No.
play Tennessee, they didn't have to play Ole
Mm-mm.
Miss. They don't have to play those top four teams. So I I think and they don't even have to play Vanderbilt. They play Missouri.
No.
Missouri is going to be the best SEC team they play all year.
Exactly.
So
And
I
then
would
they
be interested
play
to
a
see if because they're
bottom
going to
feeder.
make the SEC
Yeah.
championship team. So I'd be interested to see what happens when they play a higher tier team.
Yeah.
It because I think there is a little bit of well, A&M is a better team this year, but I don't know if
Yeah.
they're as good as people think they are just because they've been beating up on bad bottom tier SEC teams.
Well,
And
that
not
makes
even beating up on. Arkansas gave them a run for their
yeah.
money last week. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say that makes me feel a little better because I was like, I'm
okay.
like A&M is 5-0 in the SEC. Like I just don't
Yeah.
feel like they're a 5-0
No,
SEC team. I don't know
no,
why, but
they've escaped from playing good teams this year. So,
yeah. Yeah. Looking
probably
at
play
that
South
schedule,
Carolina too.
makes sense. Ole Miss defeats Oklahoma. Ole Miss, I honestly think looks really solid. Their offense is really good. They
Yeah, I don't really even have much
and
to say about this game other
yeah.
than Ole Miss, you don't win this game last year. This year you win it. Congratulations, you're a playoff team now.
Yeah.
Good job, Lane Kiffin. Hope he doesn't go somewhere else. It's a good offense with a defense that can get timely stops.
Yeah.
Hard team to deal with. You got to try to outscore them like Georgia did. Um, yeah, that's all really all I got with that. Oklahoma still doesn't have an offense. John Mateer's not the same.
No.
They were fraudulent from the beginning, because Michigan didn't turn out to be what people thought they were going to be either. So
Yeah.
Oklahoma's a mid-tier SEC team, and that's a good win for Ole Miss though, because they would have lost that game last year. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I got with that.
There's a good win and Trinidad Chambliss he looks good and
Mhm.
there's no reason to not keep him at starting quarterback. So,
Mhm.
next SEC game, man. Vanderbilt, Missouri.
Yuck.
This
I'll
was a
have to
really
say.
good game.
Yuck.
Like a good game, I guess, for suspense to see who's good, but like overall, it was not a very like
It wasn't a good game if you
not
were
a
Boca
very,
Beula's leg.
yeah.
Not a good game for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Good.
Bro, I was going to bring that up. Did you see like that Vanderbilt player is low key dirty as fuck. Did you see him? Like
I didn't see
I
that exact.
like he grabbed his ankle, which was fine, and then he was tackling him. And then when Bo got bent back, he then like twisted to his side like with his ankle. And I'm like,
They're all
bro,
eighth year
that's such
seniors. I
a
wouldn't put it past them.
yeah. I'm like, that's such a dirty, dirty play.
Vandy's time is coming. I think they beat Texas this coming week. Spoiler alert for later, but I think Tennessee's going to take it to them this year. It's at Tennessee.
You think?
I think Tennessee's going to destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think LSU may get them potentially. No, they already beat LSU. Not LSU. There's somebody else they play. Let me look real quick.
They play Kentucky and Auburn.
Auburn may get them. I
Auburn,
think
you
Auburn
think
may get
might?
them.
I don't
Auburn's
know.
trending up.
I think Texas might get them because it's at Texas. Auburn and Kentucky are home,
That's
so
true.
that they do have that going for them. Um, but yeah, so I mean, kind of a wild game with that last second completed pass, yard short of the end zone. That that was kind of insane, but
Mhm.
a really, really like gritty game and not a very neat game. I didn't think any team looked, you know, amazing or anything. There was a bunch of penalties, just a bunch of kind of messy football
This
that
game
went
basically
down.
eliminated Missouri from the playoff too. They lost their
Yeah.
quarterback and they got to play in him.
Yeah.
They're done. They're basically done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another really close game going to the AAC. These are the top two dogs in the AAC. South Florida, Memphis. And Memphis pulls away with the W.
No
And
idea who the G5 playoff representative is going to be now. Thought it was South
yeah,
Florida, but they got
I
two
mean, it's
losses. So
still might be them because like those two will probably still meet up with each other in the
it's
AAC
true.
championship. So
Well,
whoever
North
wins
Texas
that,
could make it.
yeah, North
Don't
Texas
forget
could
on
make it.
sleep on North Texas.
But didn't South Florida put BTA to North Texas?
They did, but I mean,
Yeah.
you never know what happens in a rematch.
Yeah. I guess yeah, last big game. Gosh, I was so pissed at this. This was my upset pick, Mississippi State over Texas, and watching this game, I was so happy because I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, this was the right pick." Mississippi State's up by 17 with 10 minutes left in the fourth
It
quarter.
outscored
I'm like,
24-0 in the fourth,
yeah, well, 24-7, 24-7,
and last.
24-7 in the fourth.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it was
dude,
24-0.
I'm looking at it. I'm
Um,
looking at it. It's
are you looking
24-7.
at it right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the box score. 24-7 in the fourth quarter. Um, just because remember,
oh,
like
it's
it
24-0 in
remember
the final 9 minutes. That's what it was.
yeah, yeah, in the final 9 minutes because I was going to say like Texas scored early in the fourth to cut the lead to 10, and then Mississippi State went down and scored a touchdown
Yeah.
pretty much like right away, and then it was back up to 17, and then Texas had their
I would
thing.
be a little nervous if I was a Texas. I know you won and you just escaped with two OT wins against two bottom feeders in the SEC the past 2 weeks. But I would really be nervous now because the one thing you were priding yourself to be able to win games on, your defense got absolutely shredded by the bottom place team in the SEC, one of the bottom place teams. So where you go from now, now you're playing arguably better offenses the next few weeks. You still have Vanderbilt, Georgia, and A&M left on your schedule. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. Georgia's offense is trending up right now. Texas A&M's offense looks damn near unguardable, and then Vanderbilt's offense is so different and unique, it's hard to guard. So
yeah,
you're, it's really, I guess it's a little comforting knowing you could win in a shootout, but every single one of those teams I just mentioned have a way better defense than Mississippi State. So
yeah,
you're just lucky you played Mississippi State and could get away. They also got away with some stuff. Some penalties happened,
yeah,
some turnovers happened, and another punt return touchdown. No one's
yeah,
going to kick to that kid anymore. I
yeah.
guarantee you.
Well, I
So
did
you're going to have
check
to be
that.
able to drive the field.
I did check that one. There was no block in the backs on that one. That one was actually clean, unlike the Oklahoma
No one's
one.
gonna kick to him
But
anymore, though. It's
yeah,
like I don't know why they kicked him in the first place. That's just classic Mississippi State being Mississippi State. So I don't know.
and it was Mississippi State like just defended that terribly. Like I was looking back at it, and he went up the sideline the whole way pretty much. He went up the sideline. And there's a point where there's like four or five Mississippi State guys that are like running at him, and on the inner they're on the inner outside hash, and they're not even on the side. I'm like, how is nobody like trying to like take an
Yeah,
angle
I don't
to
know.
cut him off on that sideline or something like that to force him back inside? I'm like,
No idea.
isn't that what you're taught is to force them back towards the middle of the field? And nobody did that. So, but
Well,
hey,
actually, I don't know what you're taught exactly, but I would feel like forcing him back towards the middle of the field would probably be dangerous. You probably want
depend.
to
I
push him
guess it
towards the
depend. It
sideline.
depends where your the I guess defenders are because like
Mhm.
always felt like especially like if another team's running the ball, they always talk about setting that edge to force that defend or to force the running back like back towards the middle of the field
Yeah,
where
that's true.
everybody's at and because I just feel like once you get outside there tends to be a lot of room to run out there.
Yeah.
um but anyways, that's what else do you expect from Mississippi State football?
They still
um
haven't. Jeff Levy still hasn't won an SEC game. It's
yeah,
been pretty
yeah,
close.
jeez. But yeah, so I go 4-4 with my upset picks. Got to figure out who I'm going to take this week. I haven't looked at the schedule yet, so but we'll get to that later. Anyways, we'll head into the main segment of What's the Call. And a couple of these games really had to look for stuff. Most of the highlights, I realized they don't show too many penalties anymore. So sometimes I like literally have to go to ESPN play by play and look at, oh, was there a big pass interference here or a big roughing the passer or something, and then like try to pull up a full game and go to it that way because I don't know why, but these highlights don't like putting big penalties in. But anyways, first game we have is Bama versus South Carolina. This one, it's not like very blatant. I'll have to point it out to you. Just so because it's not called on the field. It's a penalty that's not called on the field, and I kind of just caught it just watching this clip. But anyways, it's going to be a no holding call on the edge rusher here. I forget. I think this guy, their left tackle, picks him up and ends up holding him. I think South Carolina. Well, one they convert. I think this 4th and 12, if I'm not mistaken, and then they end up scoring. So it is kind of a big no holding call here. But yeah, I'll play the clip. So, which is, yeah, 12. He gets back, and then there's not really a clear angle of it, but I just felt like you could see him like he's past the tackle and then watch his head and shoulders get pulled down, which I'm like, obviously the lineman has to have some sort of grab or something of his shoulder pads for him to be like pulled down like that. And I just felt
Yeah.
like his rush was he had a pretty good free rush and then he was restricted by that. So
South Carolina's O line was getting beat and holding so many times. I think you could probably have called a holding on almost every play. I
yeah,
think it was you just refs kind of just pick and chose, I guess, when it was really blatant. But you can go
yeah,
back and look at almost any play and find an
a
almost
holding.
hold or a
Yeah.
hold. They were getting burnt off the line. They were getting it's just not a good offensive line unit.
Yeah. I just felt like that one was pretty significant with it being 4th and 12 and then SC ends up uh scoring off of this. And this This one is going to happen in the middle of the line here. It's going to be, I thought maybe a block in the back, but again, that's why it's a what's the call because I don't know. I think it could be a block in the back, but I just kind of want your opinion. So I'll just run the play real quick. Okay, I'm still on point 0.5. I think it's on 93. Yeah, 93. Did you see that?
Let me see. Yeah.
Right here. So 93 gets past him. He's heading and then kind of gets shoved from behind there.
What were you
I don't
looking at? What call?
block in the back.
Oh,
Or I don't know if that's a block in the back or if they call it holding. But I
that's
just felt
two.
like
Did they throw a penalty?
what?
Did they
They,
throw a penalty?
they didn't throw a flag. Felt
I
like
don't
they
think
could
that's a foul.
might have been able to throw one.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's too close. That's not a flag. That's just a good play.
Yeah. I just don't
Yeah.
know. And that's why we brought that up. All right. Well, that wraps up that game. And then this one is pretty obvious. Refs didn't call this one at all. I don't know how. Felt like so offsides, I feel like, or encroachment, whatever you want to call it, that they didn't call. Um, that
hmm
felt like could be called. So it's going to happen literally right over the center here. Just play the
hmm
clip. Yep.
Oh yeah. Holy. They didn't call that?
No, they didn't call that.
Yeah, it's bad. He got pushed over before he snapped it.
Yeah,
They ended up doing good on the play though.
there we go. Just watch it again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. That
I
should have
don't know.
been an
Yeah,
offsides,
I don't.
encroachment,
At least
something.
the offsides. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how they didn't call that. Just watch it in slow mo. Yeah,
yeah, it's bad.
it's bad. Bad call. Next one, 8:31. Think this was a possible holding call I have. I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah. Yep. So I think you're gonna have a holding right here. Number three, receiver three. Just
Right.
go back. So it's a handoff here. So you got 13.
Yeah, he's grabbing. Yeah, he's
I
grabbing.
don't know how that's not a holding. And this was a big play too. This was a touchdown. This was a
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah.
I'm just
I
like,
mean, it's so hard though because you can almost find a holding on every single play.
yeah,
And to be
I
fair,
get, yeah.
what these guys
I
are
just
doing
feel
now
like you
too,
gotta call it. You gotta call it if it really affects the
it's
play though,
smart though
because
because
I'm
he's
like,
wearing the wide receiver's wearing white
white
gloves,
gloves. Yeah.
and yeah, it's a smart strategy to use.
I just
It's
feel like
hard
though
to
you
see.
can literally see him pulling his shoulder pads this way, and 13, if he gets released there, is going to make the
Yeah,
tackle.
yeah,
He's going to make the tackle, and
yeah. I
that's
would say it's a
not going to be a
hold.
touchdown. So I'm like, in that scenario, like I know you could call it every play, but that's a pretty big hold because if that's not a hold, it's probably a tackle for a loss or maybe just a 1 yard gain. But because of the hold, Vanderbilt ends up scoring a touchdown. What does
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt win by? A touchdown.
Yeah.
So that I felt like was pretty bad no call.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next one is again this Vanderbilt game, except I had to go to different highlights for this one. This is a PI they called on Vanderbilt. Really, I didn't feel like it was a PI. I just felt like it was just guys that got their legs stripped up. So right there, top of your screen, they'll show a um, slower version of it. Yeah, right here. I didn't
He gives
really
a little
see.
hand grab, but it looks like they more got tripped. I can see how they called
Yeah.
that though, because he looks like he tackled him.
Yeah. It looks like it
Yes,
because
it looks like PI
he was extending his hand
arms.
out, but I just feel like if you look at his legs, like just look at the legs. He trips up over, you see him, he tripped up
Yeah,
over his
I can see how it
foot.
gets called though.
To a referee's eye, yes, it looks like pass interference. Going back and reviewing it, it's not pass interference. It's incidental. The guy accidentally tripped over his foot because I felt like the Vanderbilt guy actually had pretty good positioning. Like that wasn't going to be completed pass if the guy doesn't trip over his feet. Like he's not
Yeah,
going to the ground. But yeah, so I just felt like that was a no PI call. Or that it was a PI call on the field. I don't think it was actually PI. I think it was incidental contact that just happened to look like PI. Right here, I had to mix it up. I had to try to get in another conference. So I found this Arizona State Houston game. This right here was ruled a fumble on the field and stayed a fumble. Uh, I'll play in normal speed. It looks, watching it initially, I was like, oh, that looks like a fumble. But then I'm like, I guess I slowed it down a little bit. I'm like, is it a fumble or a forward pass? So he just, he's throwing it.
it fall out. He tried to
He
pump
just,
fake.
I
He tried to
don't,
pump fake and he let it
that's
go.
what
It's a
I
fumble.
thought. That's what I thought. I thought he was trying to pump fake it. And then
I think he thought he was trying to pump fake too.
now
What
that I
ended up
look
getting
it
called?
back, it doesn't look, they ended up ruling it a fumble, which I'm trying to see if there's, oh, here we go. Um,
It
I'm
looks
just
like he
like,
was trying to tuck it. You know, it's that tuck rule.
yeah. I'm just like, in what, like, because usually a lot of times they're just like, oh, if the guy still has control and his arm's coming forward, then
Yeah, but I think they deemed he wasn't trying to throw it.
he wasn't trying to throw it, he was trying to tuck
Yeah,
it
I think
instead.
that's yeah. Because the way he reacted, as soon as he did that, he went and tried to cover it, like he fumbled it.
Yeah. So like you think if he actually
Because he
like
slows down.
yeah,
If he just
you
committed
think
to the throw and spiked it, it'd have been incomplete.
yeah, it would have been incomplete, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that tuck rules, but like from first look I was like, okay, his arm's coming forward, like it's a forward
Yeah.
motion, but and he loses the ball. Which a lot of times it's like, oh, as long as his arm's coming forward, if he loses the ball, it's a forward pass. But I guess in this case scenario, he wasn't necessarily trying to pass it. He was trying to, because he saw the defender coming, so he was like, shit,
Yeah.
I gotta tuck this try real quick or something, and it just slipped out. So I think I'm fine with a fumble on that one.
Hmm.
ASU fans probably aren't, but I am. So that wraps up the What's the Call segment. Again, had I think about six of them, but got through them pretty fast. So now it's time to head into a little week 10. Look ahead. Dang, week 10. Only got 3 more weeks of the regular season left. That's
Week
insane.
10. So,
Week 10. Let's see what CFB week 10 has cooking for us. Again,
yeah,
while we're recording, we already
I don't
got
see
midweek games going on.
I don't see a bunch of upsets on here, but I do see a few lines that I would take this weekend. Some of those lines I'm seeing right now are Texas minus 2.5. I think Vanderbilt's going to win the game. We'll get into that a little more. But I think that's a line I would take. Vandy to cover and Vandy to probably win outright. Um, Miami to SMU. Miami's favored by 12.5. It's the first time they've had to leave Florida all year. All year, first time they've had to leave Florida. They don't give
That's
them a little
insane.
issues. SMU is not good, but they're not terrible.
Yeah.
I think this game's tracking around a 10-point game. I think SMU covers, but Miami wins. And then we have Oklahoma, Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 3.5. I think Tennessee wins by double digits. I think they handle Oklahoma home. I think Tennessee's a pretty good team. They are shaded by the missed field goal and that interception thrown on the goal line against Georgia and Alabama. So those are the three lines that I would lock in this weekend. Make a little money.
Nice. Yeah. Uh, no crazy games. I think the biggest game is that Vanderbilt Texas game, from what I'm looking at, but we'll get into so noon on Fox, Ohio State, Penn State.
It ain't a
Oh
game,
Lord,
bro.
please, Ohio State, do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're
It's not going to
supposed
be a
to do.
game. Penn State's a dead
Um,
program. They're going to get steamrolled. A 20.5 is not enough. It's going to be a 40-point game. Uh,
it-
and
uh,
it's not. It
that,
shouldn't even. It shouldn't even get national coverage. It should be put on the CW network. Respectfully, should be on CW
oh Lord.
with the old what's
Well,
his the old Reds announcer. That's who it should be. He should have to call this game.
Tom Brenneman
Yep.
and Julian saying deep 50-yard throw, Carnell Tate or Jeremiah Smith. And I
Before this
apologize
touchdown, I would like
for
to
this.
apologize.
Next new game, Vanderbilt, Texas. This is going to be a good one, I think. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt ran away from this, just the way Texas has been playing, but Texas also does have home field advantage.
It's going to be a
Um,
probable backup QB start for Texas too. Matthew
yeah,
Caldwell is probably going
yeah,
to start.
because yeah, Arch
This may
got
ha
injured. Yeah,
low key. I don't want to say this because Arch has been playing a little bit better. This may help Texas.
yeah. We'll see how the backup does come in there. I mean, most of the time it's like, shoot, this is my chance. I ain't letting this go. So we'll see what happens. Should be a good game. SMU Miami. I know you covered that. SMU does have a chance, I think, to upset. They're not a bad team. They're not, but
I
I
actually
mean,
need to
they're
see
not
Miami. They
great.
need to leave home. I need to see them face some adversity besides Louisville. They
Yeah,
lost to Louisville. They
yeah,
faced a little bit of adversity, and Carson started throwing that thing around the yard. So I need to see them on the road
yeah,
facing some adversity. I don't know if it's going to come this week or it's going to come versus Pitt or it's going to come in the ACC championship or it's going to come in the playoff. But the first adversity they faced all year was a fail. So
yeah,
what are they going to do the next time they face it? And I think this may be a chance that or spot that gets them,
yeah.
considering the conditions.
Houston plays West Virginia. They
No,
should
West
handle
Virginia.
should
West Virginia is
handle
a bad,
business.
bad team this
Yeah,
year.
West Virginia is bad.
Bad, bad team.
Uh, Illinois Rutgers, it's not really a big game anymore. Illinois probably definitely handles business. Clemson, Duke. Clemson's actually favored of this, but I mean Duke is actually shoot. They're 3-1 in the ACC. I didn't
Hmm.
realize that.
I'd take Duke in this. I think Clemson's a dead program as well.
Yeah.
Um, I just what really is Clemson? Their best wide receivers out for the year now, Bryant Wesco. Um, I don't know if is Cade Klubnik playing this week. Who knows? Um, I think Duke is all right. I think these teams are about even, to be honest. I could see Clemson win this game, but from what I've seen all year from Clemson, they just seem like they roll over, and I think Duke's going to win the game.
Yeah. Just looking not too much more. I guess Arizona State, Iowa State, just kind of mid-level Big 12 game there. Should be competitive. Both of those teams are competitive.
No
Louis,
Sam Levitt though, so I think
yeah,
Iowa State wins.
yeah, that is a big loss for ASU. Louisville plays Virginia Tech,
It won't be a game. Louisville's going to roll.
possibly,
I
unless
don't think. I
Virginia
don't.
Tech gets on a
Yeah,
heater.
it could, but I
Playing
think
at
Louisville's
home
a pretty good
too.
team. Yeah,
Yeah, see that one's on the CW network.
yeah.
Indiana, Maryland. At
It's
Maryland.
not going to be a game.
Maryland's 1-3 in the
It's
Big
probably the
Ten.
toughest game Indiana has left the whole year, though. To be honest with you, it's probably the hardest
Yeah,
game they have left.
yeah, it
So
is.
it's
Georgia,
insane.
Florida. Jacksonville, baby.
Last year in Jacksonville, for the next 2 years, it's going to be in Tampa
Yeah,
and
because
Atlanta. This
of
game's going to
Remy
be
Baby.
closer than what people think. It always is. It's a rivalry game. think Georgia ends up winning this by 2 scores at the end of the game, but it's going to be the same Georgia game. I think it's going to be the same thing you see all year. Florida has nothing to lose. They're going to throw everything they have. And they're a talented team. They're a good team. They just have struggled this year, but I think Georgia wins this game by like 10, something like that. And but it's either tied or they're down at halftime. I don't see them coming out and just going getting up 14-0 and the game just being over in the first quarter. I wish it'd be like that, but I think Florida's got too much pride and um, Georgia, their DBs are just too susceptible unless they work some black magic um,
Yeah.
over the bye week, which Kirby is capable of. So I guess we'll find out. But I think Georgia ends up. I think they cover. I think they win by like 10 to 13 points. I could see like a 31-20 game or 31-17, something like that in that area. Something that made it.
Yeah. I mean, that'll always be a good game. Good rivalry game, especially since it's at a neutral site. So, you know, both you got the stadium literally split in half, Florida, Georgia fans. Notre Dame heads to Boston College. Uh, NIU did it last year to Notre Dame. Maybe Boston College can do it this year. Maybe they can
No,
knock them
no,
out.
no. 1-7 Boston. Absolutely not. Move on. Texas Tech.
Texas Tech plays Kansas State.
It's
Uh,
not going to be a game.
I don't think that should be. I mean, unless
Texas Tech.
K-State has stepped up from their previous games, they at least got back to 500, but I don't think
Uh,
K-State's that good.
Virginia Cal. This could be an upset, but California has the worst wide receiver group I have ever seen in my entire life. The 3 games I've watched them play late at night, dude, Sagapatule is just laying it on them, and they're drop, 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 drop. So I, I think Virginia wins. I don't know how good California is. There's going to be no one at the game. The only way I see Cal winning is if Virginia has some kind of hangover from going 4 hours to the west by plane. So. I
Shoot,
think
right now,
Virginia takes care of business. Um,
I just,
Virginia will. They're going to lose an ACC game to close out the year. They're not going. They're not winning out. I don't
I
know who
mean,
it's going to
who?
be,
Wake Forest,
but
Duke, or
they
Virginia
almost just
Tech?
lost to North Carolina this past week. So
That is true. And they barely scraped by Washington State.
I think they'll lose to Duke. They got to play at Duke still. I think that game going to get them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, it's not a tough end of the schedule for them. It's pretty pretty easy, but I guess depends if the Cavaliers come ready to play or not.
South Carolina, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss should handle business.
South Carolina, you had your Cocktober game, and you failed me. Um, this one could get bad. This one could get bad because I don't know where South Carolina's headspace is now after that game they lost, and Ole Miss is playing for a playoff spot, and I think
Yeah,
they're clicking right now. If you
yeah,
can't get off the field, South Carolina can't really score, so it could get to 21-3 really fast. It could get
yeah,
really uncomfortable really fast, especially since it's a night game. Uh, it's at Ole Miss. I don't like South Carolina in this. I think 12 and a half is not enough, to be honest with you. I think this game's tracking to a 14, 17, 20 plus point win,
yeah.
to be honest with you.
I could definitely see that. Uh, 7:30 ABC, Oklahoma, Tennessee. My personal opinion, I think Tennessee at least definitely wins this one. I don't think Oklahoma has been playing that good of ball as of recently, and just Mateer since that hand injury has just looked off. I don't know if he's
Mhm.
scared of, re-injuring it or whatnot, which I know injuries do that to you. They stay kind of in the back of your head, especially it's one you have to get surgery
Yeah.
on because you're like, I don't want to re-injure that. So I feel like that's kind of been in the back of his head, and Oklahoma
Yeah.
just hasn't looked as solid on offense as they did to start off the
I
season.
also I think too that um, good offense can be beat by good defense. Good defense can beat good offense, but elite offense is always going to beat elite defense.
Yeah,
Um, I think Tennessee has an elite offense. I think Oklahoma has a semi-elite defense. But if you're, I know Tennessee has trouble stopping some people, but Oklahoma's not a good offensive team. So if you get down, I don't know what if you're gonna. You don't have a home crowd. Tennessee's wearing their dark mode jerseys. They're gonna be, and they got a night game in Neyland first game. It
Yeah,
could get
it's
bad
going.
too.
Yeah,
I could see a route where this gets because Joey Aguilar is finally healthy. They're playing good ball. I don't see how Oklahoma's going to be able to stop Tennessee if they couldn't stop Ole Miss because it's similar offenses. Um, I can see this game getting bad. Tennessee is a 6-2 team with their two losses being to Georgia because they missed a field goal, and then to Alabama because they threw a pick on the 1 yard line going into halftime. They don't throw that pick. I think that game ends up being a last possession game
yeah,
because they played them even after the half.
yeah,
It just they were in too far of a hole. So I think Tennessee rolls. I think Tennessee's just a way better team than Oklahoma
yeah.
is. So yeah, I would
I
take them to
agree with
cover.
that. USC at Nebraska. USC should handle business if they don't keep them unranked for the rest of the
Nebraska
season.
looks
Nebraska is
awful.
fraudulent. They beat
Matt
Northwestern
Rule
is a
has
good team,
one foot out that door.
but yeah. I mean, Northwestern is a good team last week, but again, it's Northwestern. It's not a powerhouse or anything like that. And like we already saw with that Minnesota game 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, you got your back
Nebraska
blown out
is
by
just
by the
fraudulent.
Golden Gophers 2 weeks ago. So I
Yeah, who just got their backs blown out by, actually, not even just blown out, obliterated, absolutely obliterated by Iowa. So
yeah,
Nebraska still believe they're fraudulent. USC, you should handle business. I don't even care if it's in Lincoln. I don't care, but that should be handled. Big game of the night, 10:15, UC, University of Cincinnati versus Utah. I think that will
I
actually
want
be
to
a really good
say
game.
is Dampier a game time decision? I want to
I'm
say
not
he's not
sure.
starting.
I just know
Um,
tickets are as low as $79. Might have to fly out there, catch the game. $79 is pretty reasonable for a top 25 matchup right there in Utah. I'll take that. Salt Lake City. Um,
hey,
but anyways, I know the Bearcats are ranked 17th, Utah's ranked 24th. However, Utah is favored in the spread, and I think we are doing upsets based off of the spread rather than rankings. So I'm going to pick UC to upset slash cover the spread, or not even cover the spread. Yeah, upset.
yeah, I think Cincinnati
Upset
wins the game.
Utah.
Yeah, I think
Utah.
they're capable of winning the game. Yeah, we'll see if Cincinnati's going to be a legit Big 12 contender over this game or not. They take care of business, they can make it to the Big 12 championship. They don't, they're just going to be in that pack of all the others. So it'd be cool to
Yeah,
see Cincinnati be elite again.
I know
I
that.
don't know how they lost in Nebraska. Goodness,
Yeah.
but
Well, I just think it was just first game of the season. That was supposed to be a home game for them in
yeah.
Kansas City. It was a home game from Nebraska. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, and then it literally just comes down to that one play, that interception, because UC was driving, it was first and 10, and he just throws that, just a brain fart. Like, just,
Yeah, that was
it was
bad.
stupid. Why are you throwing that? And when at the end of the day, even if they don't get the first down in that possession, they're within field goal range there. So they're at least, I forget if they're winning the game or tying the game up with that field goal.
Yeah,
But so that was just they look a lot better than what they would if they were to play Nebraska now. I think they would at least win by 2 scores. Um, so I got UC over Utah. That's my upset pick of the week. Now we go to you. Did you figure one out? You gonna go out on a limb
I
for
don't know if
some?
I have an upset pick of the week. I guess
No,
Duke, but like there's
Duke. Yeah,
there's not anything favored tall enough. I don't think SMU is going to beat Miami. I was thinking about doing that, but I think a few teams cover. I think this may be a more of a boring week because
yeah.
I feel it's hard for me to
You
pick an
know,
upset for a team that's favored by under 3 points.
not
Especially like I don't know if Vanderbilt beating Texas is an upset or not. Besides Penn
well.
State,
Who's
when Penn State
favored?
upset.
Well, who's
Besides when
favored?
Texas
It's,
by 2.5. So
it's
I
two
just
and
like
a
I
half.
don't know.
Yeah, that is pretty close for a
When Penn State beats Ohio
upset.
State though, that's going to be a pretty crazy upset.
Lord, oh my gosh, you won't see my face next week if that happens. I can tell you that. You don't want to go with the Gamecocks for the third straight time this month?
I don't think so. I think they've had enough. I think they used enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's
you
time to
gotta be
put it away.
careful. You gotta be
Gotta put it
careful.
away. Yeah,
Bro,
gotta
you
put
gotta be
that one
careful.
away. Um,
Oh, Lord.
how about the ML, how about the World Series game the other night? Did you catch that?
Last night? Yeah, I catched 12 innings of it and I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm not staying up for this. And so 18 innings. Jeez.
Now they
And
gotta play
Freddie Freeman walk
hurry
off. I'm
back
like,
long. Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
know.
insane.
Blue Jays, or last time I checked, Blue Jays were rolling. I I assume they won the game. It was in the eighth inning when I checked. They were up 6-1, 6-2, bottom of the ninth, one out. That
They're gonna win. Nice.
hopefully the Blue Jays. But anyways, we are Blue Jays fans for this series. I hate the Dodgers. Um, pay to win. We got to prevent that. So go Jays. Good luck to them. And thank you guys for joining us for this week of What's the Call. You know, good week. We'll see you guys next week for week 10. Hopefully we'll have a little uh more to talk about game wise. Maybe some big things happen, maybe some things shaking up or not. But have a great Halloween and we'll catch y'all next week.